What is happening, everyone? Let's walk through the outlook for this week. As you can tell and probably hear, I'm a bit sick, so bear with me. From this month onward as well, I will do a weekly recap on total trades and a monthly recap on total trades as well. So better use that going forward. But make sure to like, subscribe, etc. For the daily videos. But let's get into it. So on the 4 hour, this is what we had last week for EU. Read perfectly. Really in flow with price action at the moment. What I'm still kind of expecting is to push up to this high coming in this week. So I'm going to leave that there. But I think we are due for a little bit of a sell-off. So just understanding that this point doesn't hold a lot. We have now taken a 4 hour point that did break a 4 hour in like internal low. More or less that's the decision over there. We could just get this. And when I walk through GU, that will make a lot of sense as well. So I am open to just selling this off, but we'll obviously have to see what price kind of gives us internally coming into the week. Now, last week on EU, I only took this sell here. This one was late at night, so I wasn't awake. And then this one was a forward test. I didn't take it. It didn't fit my rule, so I couldn't take it. But more or less now, we have kind of created some new structure. So we have now broken to this high. Broken this upside. We're in this area, which I don't think will hold anyway. So I do want to buy it, but I understand that this can sell off. So this point has obviously been mitigated and now broken and made a new high. So if we mark out the last bit of imbalance in here, you're looking at this area here. So this area here is what I'm kind of just looking for in terms of a buy. Now down to that point, we have already broken through the decisional more or less here. So once we kind of break this low here, I think we're confirming that retracement here. So what I'm expecting today, obviously it's a Monday, I'm expecting a slow retracement down. So I'm not expecting much of EU coming into this week on the Monday, but I'm just looking for something like this, making its way down, and then I'm happy just to buy that up. Just need that slow pace coming down. I don't actually see a way to sell into this at the moment. Now we have got a couple of hours before London Open, but at the moment I'm not seeing much. So all we're looking for is buys more or less from here and continuing with that because we did come out of this extreme here and respect that and make a new high. So just simple bullish order flow is telling me we are bullish and until it tells me otherwise, I'm going to continue to do that. So if we can build up some selling momentum in here, I'm happy to sell down to this point and possibly sell through it because this is a medium inducement of sorts. But I think that's more or less the highly likely type of approach today. Now, GU on the 4 hour, this is what we had last week. I'm going to leave this the same. I still think we're coming up to this point, but we were targeting this break and retest and have been for a couple of weeks now. So really strong read on EU and GU for the last couple of weeks. So if you've been watching over the last couple of weeks, you would be very in tune with where price action's been heading. Been very like on top of that. Now, in terms of what can happen today, this point shouldn't hold, but we are due to come to this point. So I still think this liquidity we've taken now, we are due for a bit of a sell-off. So there's multiple ways to kind of look at this, and I'll explain this best I can here. We've got this internal break here, which has now created liquidity to the upside and brought in buyers. So what I'm expecting it to do is take this low, mitigate this area, build up trend line, and buy to the upside. So this is actually a really good buy model for me. It's more on a lower time frame, but you can see it developing on that 4 hour. So I've got a buy model playing out. So all I'm looking for is to continue to the upside with that in terms of where I can buy from. This 15-minute point is really clean, or even the low take of this point, because I don't think this will hold, which is why I've got that as a trap, as you can see here. So I will mark that out like that. So as exactly what I've expected to have happen has happened. We have induced into the mitigation of the last point, which is exactly what I wanted to have happen. No way to trade that, of course. And now I'm expecting this to sell off. So today there's multiple ways we can look at this. This point won't hold. I would doubt that it would. I'd bet against it, that's for sure. So what I'm looking for is to sell through that. So we've got price moving its way up, take this liquidity, sell off like this. Once we get to this area, buys. This is a high time frame buy model for me. I will be looking for buys every day, and that'll be very clean. So until we get to that, I'm happy to sell towards this area. But once we get there, I will be buying. So really, really good outlook on GU. These will be on Instagram as well. So if you need just the photos of them, they'll be there. USDCAD, this is what we had last week. Really, really good read. We've now come to our extreme area. We're due for a retracement. I don't think this area will hold, but it's played out perfectly. Now, the trade I wanted to catch during the week was this one in here. There was just no entry in here. It was so clean. You would have had to basically set that whole area and held through it. I was already in a trade at the time, unfortunately, but that was kind of the A+ entry for the week. Now we've come into this 4-hour area. I'm just expecting a bit of a retracement. So make its way up slowly, come into this area and fall off, or take this high and fall off. And they're the two options there. So really, really easy on CAD. But until we get some of that lower time frame price action, there's just nothing we can do. USD is just an obvious version of that pair and a really good example of knowing exactly where it goes, still can't catch it. Now, I removed my drawing for AU, but this played out perfectly as well. All pairs were flowing really, really quite nicely together. Like I said, just didn't catch them, and that's fine. What I'm expecting for AU to do now, you've obviously got this area that broke the low. That was my decisional, which we now have internally broken through. So I will mark that out. Internal break. I believe we are coming to this area here. So this area here will hold a lot of weight. So expect a good retracement off of this, but I want to buy through it. Ideally, I want to buy to the high, to the extreme, and also understand that we are externally bullish on like the daily time frame. So it's actually quite possible we just make a new high, which will be very, very clean on AU. So down to the 15-minute, like I said, we've come into this area now. This was a trade I took that resulted in a break even. It took 4 hours to get out of drawdown, hence I was at break even. The market moved like crap on Friday, so I was out of that, but that was a pretty A+ entry. Just unfortunately couldn't hold through it. Now we've broken that high. Like I said, we are due for a bit of retracement. We have actually had our first look at selling through this area here. So this area won't hold. It is the decisional of this area. In terms of what I'm okay to do, I'm okay to buy off the take of this low, and I'm okay to buy off of this mitigation here. Ideally, what I actually see happening, and this lines up with GU a little bit, is I want to see this area, which we've got marked out here, I want to sell through it. I believe that we've kind of already missed that opportunity. There may have been something during Asia session. Yeah, there was a really, really good entry in here. You would have got in, because we've got break, liquidity, something like this. You may have, yeah, that spread probably would have stopped me out at break even, but really, really good read there. What I'm kind of wanting to have happen is just push up, take this high, and sell down to here, which I believe it'll actually push through this point as well. We've got lots of imbalance below, and like I said, this higher time frame point holds enough to create a bit of a move. If we're going to come lower, I'll do. Going to come lower, that's kind of my 15-minute range. That's still my 15-minute range, really. If we're going to come lower, we're going to come a lot lower. You're looking to areas like that. Possibly just even the take of this. If we confirm selling structure after this, I'll be looking to sell until we get to closer areas like this. I actually would like price to come down here, but this price could just push price through here. It's building a lot of liquidity. That will line up with EU and GU as well. So sells, buys like that, take that liquidity, try and get in that move there. Will be very, very clean coming into the week. Now, gold, we're still pushing up through this point. I do want to sell. It's just giving me no signs of selling yet. I just don't like buyers being at the top of a range. On the 15-minute, there's nothing for us to work with, so I'm not going to touch on gold. Now the DXY has now taken the decisional, reacted off decisional and push. So this inducement here is quite a large one. I'm expecting this to now push price up to take this or take this and then sell down to this area in here. So short-term buys to sells on the DXY. Okay, either off of here or off of here. If we can catch the buy early, we can just even possibly hold to the high because we are externally bullish. But these two areas are the levels I think are magnetized coming to today, which will line up with EU and GU and AU and USDCAD and flow nicely with our pairs. So that's the outlook coming to today. Any questions, drop below in the YouTube comments, drop them in the Telegram. And yeah, first week of December, first day of December today. Let's finish the year off strong and push on from here.